very multi-talented Sister Jamie is going to transition from praise to health.
Good morning. Happy Sabbath. So as the weather is turning warmer, it's now time to get outside more for our health. This week we're going to talk about something that is beneficial in multiple ways, and that is gardening. If we can have the slides, please. So number one, it gives us better new starts. So remember in those 8 laws of health we talked about in the past weeks? Well, gardening applies to almost every single one of them. Nutrition. Humans tend to eat what we make, and this applies to gardening as well. Eating fruits and vegetables straight from the ground to the table is the most healthiest diet we can have. And did you know that this applies to children as well? I get so many patients that come into my office saying, how do I get my kids to eat more fruits and vegetables? Well, one of the easiest ways is to get kids to eat their fruits and vegetables is to get them off their media and into the garden. They will be super excited to see the seeds grow into plants. And then when harvest time comes, they will be more likely to try their own new produce. The more tries you get into them, the more successful, healthy eaters they can be. And that's a true fact, proven in a review of multiple studies published in 2017 Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. And actually in my own home just this morning, where children and adults alike were excited to see our renewed garden and seeing sprouts in there. Exercise. So not only is carrying the bags of mulch and pulling weeds, raking and hoeing, etc., a great workout for the entire body, but it's also a workout with a purpose. This goal-oriented activity entices you to stay for a longer time and therefore reap more benefits of the aerobic activity than doing something else that is less exciting or purpose-filled. In 2013, a study in the American Journal of Public Health found that gardeners have a significantly lower body mass index and rates of obesity than non-gardeners. And this translates into an average weight loss of about 11 pounds in women and 16 pounds in men. So this is great news for those who are trying to shed a few pounds. Gardening also increases one's exposure to fresh air and sunlight, which then in turn produces vitamin D, which we all learned a few weeks ago plays an important part in stabilizing and protecting our immune system. It boosts the mood. I don't know if you can see those words on your slide, but I have all these listed here. The quote, gardening is cheaper than therapy and you get tomatoes at the end of it actually rings true, and science is proving it over and over. A NASA study in 2016 found that working with plants relieves stress and provides positive sensory stimulation. Even in the severe environment of outer space, they have found that astronauts nurturing seeds, even if just in small little pots, provide a better mood and manageable stress. Scientists have also found a specific bacterium in the soil called Mycobacterium vaccae. And this bacterium is able to alleviate depression. Did you know that? Lung cancer patients injected with this killed bacteria reported better quality of life and less nausea and pain. When injected into the mice, this bacteria also activated a set of serotonin-releasing neurons in the brain, the same nerves that are targeted by antidepressants like Prozac, all without the side effects. This is amazing, right? Also, there is no better sense of accomplishment to boost a healthy self-esteem than to raise something from seed to fruition that is helpful to our health, much like helping others. So gardening also lowers stress and helps us save money. Gardening lowers the secretion of the stress hormone cortisol, which is known to be detrimental to our health. Gardening also helps us save money by reducing grocery bills, not only in the purchase of the groceries, but also in that the produce lasts longer if it stays in the ground, which then means less wastage. It saves on trash bills as gardeners usually mulch their garbage to place back into the ground to benefit their garden. And with all the health benefits that gardeners have, they can save a ton of money by not needing to spend it in healthcare dollars. It reduces cardiovascular disease. So this is actually very, very exciting. In a large Stockholm study in 2013 of over 4,000 participants, over 12 years, they have found that heart attack and stroke are decreased and life is prolonged by 30% just by gardening. And these cardiovascular benefits are likely due to the overall increase in the energy expenditure. So the longer that we just sit down the less that our basal metabolic rate goes down to the bare minimum. But when we stand up and actually start exercising, it increases it. And the studies showed that sitting down can disrupt the skeletal muscles' normal hormone production, which then can negatively impact the rest of the body. Did you know that gardening actually will reduce Alzheimer's and other dementias, and it boosts the brain activity? Gardening, just like any other exercise, decreases the risk by 50% by maintaining proper brain volume and keeping brain function active. Gardening stimulates all the senses of touch, smell, taste, sight, and all this stimulation helps keep the brain active. Being outdoors and getting sunshine regulates sleep patterns, and the physical labor maintains strength and balance, which then decreases the risk of falls, in addition to the dexterity and sensory awareness that we have. Gardening also provides lifetime learning and problem-solving opportunities to keep the mind sharp. Multiple studies have found that this natural setting improves the attention and decreases agitated behavior so often seen with patients in dementia. Not only does it protect against dementia, but gardening actually makes us smarter. In a study in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health just this last year, 2019, researchers measured brain nerve growth factors related to memory in senior study patients before and after they created a vegetable garden, and found that their levels of brain growth nerve had significantly increased with gardening. So we see this increased attention and learning performance not only in the elderly but also throughout life. Studies in this classroom also showed that school gardens were significantly raised student test scores, especially in science, in a study of 650 third to fifth graders in Central Texas, as compared to those without the gardening as part of their curriculum. The last two, it boosts the immune system. So having the dirt under your fingernails actually is very helpful to your immune system. Did you know that? The bacteria in the soil, the same one that we learned about before, Mycobacterium vaccae, improves the immune system, helping you get sick less often and fight off infections easier. And that was in Science of 2012. Scientists took germ-free mice raised in a sterile environment versus the normal lab mice with a normal environment and compared the levels of natural killer T cells. These natural killer T cells help fight infection, but they also can turn around and attack the body, causing issues like asthma and allergies and autoimmune disease. Well, these germ-free mice actually had a higher level of the natural killer cells than the other ones who were raised in the normal environment. And what was even more interesting was this association did not go away when the adult germ-free mice were then introduced to a whole bunch of different microbes as adults. And this suggests that the earlier that we are exposed to these healthy dirt molecules, the lower the isolated risk of developing immune-related disease. Also recall that the New Start-related principles that are promoted by gardening also help to strengthen the immune system and stabilize it. So our last one, it gives hope. So gardening helps the environment and improves the beauty of nature surrounding us, but many scientists are also surprised to find that gardening actually tends to restore one's faith in the future. One scientist describes it as this: when you garden, you expect growth and change. When someone plants a seed and waters it, they have faith that the seed will then send roots into the soil to support stems and leaves above. When people see that faith come to fruition, it helps carry over the same kind of faith and hope into your everyday life. Gardening gives you a chance to focus on something and put your mind to work with a goal and a task in mind, which is helpful, especially now, to see things growing and thriving. So the next slide, please, if you don't mind. In Genesis 2, we read, "The Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. Then the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to tend and keep it." That's verses 8 and 15 from that chapter. So, our Father knew from the very beginning of time how beneficial it was for humans to tend a garden, even in the beautiful paradise. I don't know about you, but I find great faith-building power to see that time and time again, modern scientists are always continually proving what God had already prescribed from the very beginning in his word, the Bible. I pray that we will keep close study of it to help us navigate through our diseased world and to find a better and perfect way, which is his way. May God bless you this Sabbath, my church family. Thank you.